Fungi grow in their food, right? So they don't like walk around, we're like walking around, let's go to lunch everybody, and picking up our food and digesting it internally. Fungi are actually growing inside of their food, secreting enzymes outside of their body, and then sucking those nutrients back into their body. So a lot of the waste is left outside of their body. And they create all these enzymes, these really potent, powerful enzymes that can break down a lot of different material. Third thing is they are they don't photosynthesize, heterotrophic. They rely on an external food source, right? So plants photosynthesize. They just take sun, take soil, make food. Fungi need some sort of host to feed and to live. There's 3 different ecological roles that fungi play. Saprophytic, which is what we humans typically cultivate, is a saprophytic fungi. These are mushrooms that grow on dead material. And obviously that's going to be the easiest material to work with, right? Something that's dead, that's like pretty easy to manipulate, move around, make it do what you want to do. Parasitic is the next one. Cordyceps generally falls into that area. Chaga is another one that falls into that. Honey mushrooms, potentially the largest organism in the world. It's 2,000 acres large in Oregon, 2,000 years old. It's this massive mycelial mat of honey mushrooms. And the third one is mycorrhizal. And these are fungi that create a symbiotic relationship with plant roots, right? And 95% of plants have symbiotic relationships. So when we're starting to think of our world, fungi are really everywhere, right? They're involved, parasitic, involved in the death of plants, animals. Saprophytic, they're involved in the link from when something dies to when it's available again as a basic carbon, nitrogen. And mycorrhizal, right? As the plant is living, they're helping it, supporting it, create all of this food. So fungi are really, really critical in that circle of life. And particularly, they get a lot of attention in the saprophytic, that link between death and life. Yeah, you had a question?
The chitin, however you pronounce that.
Yeah, I say chitin.
So when you make a tincture, you make it with alcohol. What about if it's made with vegetable glycerin?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, good question. Yeah, some cool numbers. Just like illustrating, there's a lot of mycophobia, fear of mushrooms. And generally, it's not rational. It's not based on numbers. I think it's based on like that link between death and life, association with death, and mystery. It's like these things, these mushrooms like pop up one day and then they're gone in 3-4 days. So it makes it kind of difficult to learn a lot about them, to learn how to identify them. Compared to plants, which a lot of them are there at least for 5, 6, 7 weeks. Some of them 90, 100, 1,000 years. So that sort of organism is a lot easier to learn about. Fungi, which come and go so rapidly, have a lot of mystery still around them, which makes me really excited, and is part of the reason why I am working with mushrooms. Life cycle. Okay, so I want you to take away from this slide the difference between spores and mycelium. This is the biggest thing, and it's really important as cultivators to understand that spores and mycelium are very, very different. So this is a basic rundown of the life cycle. We've got spores coming out of the mushroom, germinate into mycelium. Mycelium fuses together, and then with the right conditions creates a mushroom. So let's look at that in real time. There we go. We've got a mushroom, right? A mushroom is a temple of copulation. The whole point of it is for sexual reproduction. And where does that happen? It happens on the gills, the underside here. Let's pass the mushrooms around, check them out. This is a pink oyster, like is shown in the picture. It's so pretty, so nice. This one's getting a little dried out. And on these, you can smell them too. If you smell this mushroom, what you're smelling is these spores that are coming out, and you're inhaling all these spores. Every breath that we've taken on this planet, we've inhaled spores, no matter what you're doing, where you are. So this is a pink oyster. We'll pass that around and check it out. This is a common cap and stem mushroom, shiitake. Again, you can see the gills on the underside. A blue oyster, right? Same sort of thing as the pink, just a different color. Again, we have gills on the bottom. And then we have lion's mane. Yeah, this is lion's mane, this huge thing right here. And this one doesn't have gills, it has teeth instead. So the spores are produced on the teeth. And the point of the mushroom, the reason that it's making this like beautiful, delicious, edible fruiting body is to get these spores out into the world. And the spores allow the fungus to travel over far distances. I'm going this row. So it allows the spores, because I was saying like the mycelium grows inside of the food source. So in order to go to a new food source, they create spores. You can think about it, if you want to think about plant world, the spores are like the seed, right? They have this little packet of genetic information that has the potential to keep making more mushrooms. So the spores go out, and it's great. Now you all have these spores on you. You're covered with oyster and lion's mane spores. And they go out, land somewhere, and eventually will germinate mycelium.